Have you ever wondered how sincere the people around you are? Are envy and lies hidden behind their smiles? We often think that we can determine who is honest with us, but in fact it is not always so easy. Envy and deception can be carefully hidden, and such people can be very dangerous. Imagine that you are celebrating a major achievement at work, and you are surrounded by congratulations. But for some reason it seems to you that something is wrong. Perhaps someone in the crowd is hiding envy behind fake congratulations. They may smile, but their eyes can tell a different story. These subtle but important signals can alert you to the presence of envy and deception. Today, I will tell you about the methods that will help you recognize envy and lies in others. These techniques are based on the ancient lessons of Stoic philosophy, which have stood the test of time for thousands of years. They will help you not only manage your emotions and achieve inner peace, but also equip you with tools to recognize and resist envy and deception on the part of others. By applying these principles, you will not only become stronger, but also wiser in creating and maintaining relationships. These methods will protect you from toxic communication and contribute to a more harmonious and happy life. The first step: observe the actions. One of the key principles in Stoic philosophy is don't believe words, believe actions. A person's behavior is the most accurate reflection of his character and intentions. Words can be manipulative and deceptive. When you observe people, pay attention to the inconsistencies between their words and actions. Someone may seem friendly and supportive in their speeches, but their actions may indicate the opposite. For example, a colleague may praise you for your success, but undermine your efforts behind your back. It is actions, not words, that reveal true intentions. Think about it. Have you ever had the feeling that someone is saying one thing and doing another? Have you ever met people who made promises to help, but never fulfilled them? These differences in behavior are clear signs of insincerity, which may have roots in envy. As the saying goes, if you want to be a good person, be one. Actions are irrefutable evidence of true character. Let us take an example. You have a friend who constantly claims to be there for you, but disappears as soon as you start having difficulties. This behavior indicates his insincerity and unreliability. It is actions, not words, that show the true essence of a person. Try to notice how people behave when they think that no one is watching them, or when there is nothing special at stake in their actions. This will most likely give you an accurate idea of their true nature and help you distinguish true intentions from those that are masked by sweet words. This practice helps not only to see the real essence of our friends and acquaintances, but also makes us think about our own behavior. Remember, our character is formed through our actions, not words. Number 2. Pay attention to how people react to your success in everyday life. The reaction of others to your achievements can tell a lot about their true feelings. Some may hide their displeasure at the success of others by showing unfounded criticism or fake congratulations. This not only harms your relationship, but also reveals its negative features. There is a saying, the one who really respects and supports you will be glad of your success, because he understands that each of your achievements is a step forward on your path to self-realization. While envious people perceive your success as a threat, realizing that they themselves are not trying hard enough. Remember how your loved ones reacted to your achievements last time. Their reactions will help you determine which of them is sincere. The people who support you will share your joy and celebrate your achievements, sincerely rejoicing at the results of your work. On the contrary, the envious or insincere may express unfounded criticism or even try to sabotage your success by making subtle remarks or belittling your achievements, perceiving them as an accident and ignoring your efforts. What should you do when you realize that someone from your environment is jealous of you? Will you openly confront them, or would you prefer to distance yourself? It follows from philosophy that we must learn to let go of what we cannot control. Focus on your own development and on building a sincere relationship, and not on plunging into a cycle of envy and lies. Another way to recognize people as honesty is to pay attention to how they interact with those who cannot benefit them. Number 3. Watch how they behave towards those who are in a less advantageous position. Stoic philosophy teaches that respect and compassion should be shown to everyone, especially those who are weaker. True noble souls never look down on others. If you notice that some people show kindness only when it is beneficial to them or when there is an opportunity to be visible, this may indicate envy or lies. People who are sincere about others show respect and kindness to everyone, regardless of their position. They understand that everyone has their own intrinsic value, regardless of whether they communicate with the Prime Minister or with the service staff. On the opposite side of the spectrum, envious and insincere people often humiliate those who have no value for them, demonstrating arrogance and rudeness. If you notice that someone's attitude towards people without power is dramatically different from their behavior towards those with power, this should alert you. Deceitful personalities often reveal their true nature when interacting with vulnerable people. For example, a colleague who is always friendly to management but rude to subordinates gives a sign of lack of respect. They are not interested in the people themselves, but only in power. By observing how others treat less influential people, you will also be able to analyze your own behavior. How do you treat vulnerable people? Recognizing and correcting flaws in your behavior can help you become a true Stoic. Will you be able to look closely and find such people around you? Try to apply this approach in everyday life and pay attention to the changes that are taking place. Number 4. Separate praise from flattery. Excessive stares are a clear sign of deception and envy, which many people often turn a blind eye to. Sincere compliments are always constructive, but when they become excessive, you should be wary. Remember that the most important thing is how you perceive yourself, not what others say. Your sense of self-esteem should not depend on other people as compliments, especially if they do not come from the heart. Do the praises you have received correspond to the successes you have achieved? With excessive praise, ask yourself the question, does this person have hidden intentions? Is he trying to take advantage of your situation? Excessive flattery often expresses insincerity, and the person who uses it may be trying to hide his envy or manipulate you. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and philosopher, noted that what matters is not what happens to you, but how you react to it. Receiving compliments can be fun, but if there are bad intentions behind them, it can reduce your vigilance and make you more vulnerable to manipulation. Instead of getting carried away with insincere praise, learn to evaluate them objectively, remaining committed to your core values and not allowing yourself to be deceived. When you evaluate a person, look at their behavior in different situations. Do his actions match his words? After all, it is easy to talk, but it is difficult to do. Stoic philosophy encourages us to evaluate whether people's actions coincide with their stated beliefs and principles. Keep an eye on how a person behaves in different circumstances, whether he adheres to his values and principles, or changing his behavior depending on the situation, violates them for personal gain. An envious and insincere person is often unable to maintain consistency in their actions. He can behave affectionately and praise you in public, but talk negatively about you behind your back. Pay attention to the strange gestures and repetitive patterns of behavior that may indicate duality. Don't jump to conclusions. Observe and analyze whether these are isolated cases or part of their regular behavior. In addition, it is worth paying attention to how they relate to others. A sincere person will show respect and fairness to everyone without trying to discriminate against anyone for their own benefit. Consistency in behavior testifies to the honesty and reliability of a person. Ask yourself, are there people in your life who act inconsistently? Do your surroundings support their values and principles in all situations? If the answer is no, be careful. Such people can hide envy and lies. Number 6. Pay attention to their reaction to criticism. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most famous Stoics, said, "If someone can show me what I think or act wrongly without compromising the truth, the one who continues to deceive himself and remain in the dark suffers." This quote emphasizes that truly wise and sincere people are always open to constructive criticism, since their main goal is the truth and not a threat to their self-esteem. On the other hand, envious and deceitful people often react negatively to criticism and become defensive. Such a reaction may arise out of fear of exposing their true nature or unwillingness to admit their shortcomings. Have you noticed how your colleague or friend behaves defensively when criticized? This may indicate their insecurity and lack of self-esteem. Let us take an example. A good and sincere leader will always listen to employee feedback and respond constructively to them, realizing that this helps him develop and creates a positive working atmosphere. On the contrary, an insincere and envious leader may ignore or even punish those who criticize him, creating an atmosphere of fear and tension. Ask yourself, when was the last time you were criticized? How did you react? Were you ready to accept criticism and reflect on it? Or did you immediately try to justify yourself? Your answer can tell a lot, not only about you, but also about the people around you. Number 7. Pay attention to unconscious comparisons. In everyday life, we often come across harmless remarks that may actually be a manifestation of hidden envy and deception. According to Stoicism, awareness and understanding of such comparisons is one of the signs of a sincere attitude. When someone unknowingly compares you to others, they can reveal more about themselves than about you. These comparisons often arise from feelings of insecurity and envy. For example, if your colleague constantly compares your success with the success of others, it may mean that he feels threatened and tries to reduce your importance by making you feel not good enough. Imagine a situation. You have achieved significant success at work, and instead of congratulating your colleague, he makes remarks. This is not just an innocent comparison, but a sign of envy. Your colleague may be jealous of your success and tries to downplay it. Being aware of unconscious comparisons helps you recognize who really supports you. Real friends don't need comparisons with others to express their admiration or respect. They value you for who you are, not in comparison to someone else. Think about it. Who in your environment is prone to frequent unconscious comparisons? Is it possible to rely on such people? How do you feel about humiliating comparisons? Point 8. Pay attention to their reactions in case of personal failures. Stoicism teaches that failure is not only a test of tolerance and maturity, but also a reflection of the true essence of a person and his intentions. Strong and honest people accept failures with humility and are willing to learn from their own mistakes. They understand that failure is an inevitable part of life, providing opportunities for growth and development. They do not blame others for their mistakes and do not hide mistakes, but recognize them and try to improve themselves. These people deserve respect. On the contrary, envious and dishonest people treat failures differently. They tend to look for external excuses, blaming circumstances or others instead of learning from their mistakes. They try to hide their mistakes and justify their actions. They may criticize others or come up with stories to protect their ego. Have you ever met people who blame others for their failures? Perhaps this indicates envy and deception. To recognize this more clearly, pay attention to how they behave in such situations. Do they admit their mistakes and are they ready to learn? Or vice versa, avoid responsibility. An honest person does not hesitate to admit his mistakes and strives to improve, unlike a deceiver who will always protect his ego and avoid the truth. As Zen Master Deceiving said, the true nature of man manifests itself in the most difficult trials. This idea echoes Stoic philosophy and reminds us that the reaction to failure reflects the true essence of a person. Observe how the people around you are coping with difficulties, and do not let their superficial words mislead you. Have you had any such observations? If yes, please like and leave comments. Your experience is very important to us. Point 10. Evaluate how they share personal information. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The soul is colored by the color of its thoughts." The way a person shares information not only reflects his inner thoughts, but also gives an idea of his sincerity or cunning. Stoic philosophy advises paying attention to how a person talks about their victories and defeats. A sincere person shares modestly, emphasizing the lessons learned. In contrast, a hypocritical person tends to exaggerate his achievements or even invent them in order to impress and manipulate. When discussing failures, he often blames external factors instead of taking responsibility. This may indicate his insincerity and inner discomfort. Be careful when information is spread with bad intentions. Such people can divulge trusted secrets or distort reality, thus undermining trust in others. When someone spreads false or negative information, they try to manipulate the perception of others and create chaos. This usually reflects his own internal problems. Does such a person often speak ill of others? Is he inclined to compare himself with others in order to emphasize his importance? Such actions are not just petty intrigues. They are manifestations of envy and inner depravity. When we become more aware of such signs, we better protect ourselves from negative influences. If you have any doubts, do not hesitate to ask questions. Listen to your inner voice. Have you ever had a situation where a colleague seems friendly and ready to help, but you still feel uncomfortable in his presence? If you answer in the affirmative, stop and listen to yourself. Perhaps this is a sign that your instincts are warning you about dishonesty or envy on his part. Remember the moments when you felt wary of someone without having a clear reason. It is your instincts that come into play, protecting you from potential threats. If you feel that something is wrong, take time to reflect to understand what is happening. Does this person often compete with you? Are his compliments considered insincere? Such trifles can indicate envy and deception. Think about why you feel uncomfortable around this person. If the reason lies in his erratic behavior and the discrepancy between words and deeds, this may be a warning. Even if the person is not attacking you directly, hidden competition and subtle remarks can indicate envy. In such situations, do not ignore your instincts. This is a powerful tool for recognizing people who are really kind and those who are just pretending. However, relying on instincts, do not forget about reason. Use both of these aspects for balance and informed decision-making. Recognizing envy and deception is not an easy task, but it is an important skill to protect yourself and your true values in life. Envious and dishonest people can be among their loved ones and in everyday contacts, seem like good friends, but in fact sow uncertainty and conflict. Stoic philosophy teaches us to live calmly and meaningfully. By applying its principles, we can identify and eliminate negativity from our lives. Remember that life is too valuable to waste on people who don't support you. Use the methods we talked about today to recognize and avoid those who are full of envy and deception. You deserve a life filled with growth and true relationships.